You are tuned in to She's Crowned with Confidence with host Dr. Nicole Steele. This Power Pack podcast was designed to remind listeners of who and whose they are and to encourage, equip, and empower them to regain their confidence and reclaim their crown. Are you ready to fully embrace what makes you uniquely you? Gain clarity on what you were created to do and to show up in the world unapologetic and authentic through and through? Well, if so, then this podcast is for you. It's time to regain your confidence and reclaim your proverbial crown that was designed with you in mind. No longer second guessing the greatness that lies within, but instead stepping all the way into it with newfound clarity, confidence, and courage. So, without further ado, it's time to adjust your crown and sit on down for another inspiring episode of She's Crowned with Confidence. Greetings and welcome to She's Crowned with Confidence. I'm your hostess, Dr. Nicole Steele, the confidence coach. And I tell you what, if you are tuning in today, you are tuning in to the premiere of this phenomenal confidence cast. And so, because this is an extra special show that's going to kind of set the foundation and really explain what this podcast is all about and who it's for, I have asked one of my dearest friends and my purpose partner, Dr. DeYonne Parker, to join me on this inaugural show. So welcome, my sister. I get to do life with you in all kinds of spaces, but I am so honored, so grateful, so thankful that you have joined me in yet another project here and are joining me for my first show. So welcome.
Woo, woo. I wish I had my blowers because I don't have my blowers and some confetti, and no, not confetti, the gems. Now I need to be throwing gems at your girl because this is an inaugural moment.
It is.
I love it. I'm so glad that you have me here because we're going to switch the seats though.
Okay.
So normally, Dr. Nicole, yep, there you go. Oh, I like it. Oh, yes. I'm literally in the seat. I'm driving. Yes. To her viewing audience of She's Crowned with Confidence, I get an opportunity to interview this amazing visionary so that you can hear her heart and how she started and why she started this confidence cast, as she likes to call it, and what gems she's going to drop to all of us. So sit back, relax, take a minute just to let it, listen, wait, don't take a minute. Wait, go get a friend. Like we like to say, go get a friend and a pen, honey.
Yep.
She's about to drop some things on you. So are you ready, sis?
I am. I'm ready. I'm so excited. Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
I love it. So, Dr. Nicole Steele, listen, I just get to introduce you because I think people take for granted that they know you. And I think it's such an important opportunity that we get to introduce ourselves at different seasons in our lives. And this is an amazing season in your life. Amazing. And so to all of you listening, this is Dr. Nicole Steele, the confidence coach. Let that sink in for just a second. She says it all the time, but the confidence coach. She is, honey, if you haven't been out here following her, you need to. She is a published author of several works. She is a powerful and passionate speaker. When she gets on the stage, she claims it and in her fullness and all her confidence. And she is a program director, the executive director and founder of Diamond in the Rough Youth Development Program. If you haven't checked that out, you need to. There's so much more to her. She is multifaceted. I love how she calls herself a modern day treasure hunter because she likes to find those beautiful rough diamonds and turn them into amazing gems. But most importantly, she is a mom. She is a wife. She is a friend. She's a daughter. She is, my God, she is just mind blowing and awesome. And she is my friend, my purpose partner. And so I get the honor of being able to just be on here and to really help her to really introduce you all to what she's here to do. So, Dr. Nicole Steele, let's get into it, honey.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
Yes.
So, now that I've introduced you, what else would you like those who are tuning into your confidence cast to know?
Well, for those that I've not had a chance to meet, one of the things that drives me, and I get a chance to do it side by side with you and so many other amazing women, but I get a chance every single day to empower ladies, leaders, and little girls. That is the heartbeat. That's what I was purposed to do. That's where my life's path has led, from the little old town of Ann Arbor, Michigan to ATL. 30 years of out here on the front line, and it all centers around confidence. Really, it's really at the heart of it. Now, I did not know that when I ventured out, but just to have an opportunity, it is such a privilege. It truly is, to be able to get up every day, whether it's in programming, whether it's in creating and curating content, whether it's speaking, writing, using every single gift, my voice, my hands, my mind, to empower ladies, leaders, and little girls. And so I want, for anybody who has not had a chance to meet me, or as you say, someone that might have had me in one box or another, to be reintroduced to the real Nicole Steele, also known as Nicole Steele, the confidence coach. And with this confidence cast, I am super excited to just use it as just another platform and vehicle to do just that, to empower women and girls and to remind them of who and whose they are.
I love that. You jumped right into what I was going to ask you, which I think, I mean, if you want to expound upon this piece, is really, what was your why behind the launch of this? Why now? Why was it so important for you to, like, yep, I'm going to get out here and I'm podcasting? You're not a stranger, first of all. If you all have been following her, she's not a stranger to podcasting, but this is her new venture. And so what's your big why behind this one?
So this podcast is different than things that I've done before. Yes, I had a priceless perspective for years, and it got to really pour into the lives of the same audience in a different season of my life. I've been able to also use these airways for my Cup of Confidence series and different things like this. But this particular project is ideal for this season. So, Dr. D, because I've gotten a chance to do several projects with you in the authoring space, but I've had a chance to write multiple books. And my most recent book, one that was launched earlier this year, is entitled The Tale of 10 Crowns. And I want to pause for a moment and just talk about this, because it took, the story. This book was something that I was nudged to do years ago. But life, as they say, life be lifing, life was lifing. And things were happening, and work was working, and all of the things were happening all at one time. And so this project that I heard clearly when God dropped the things in my spirit and said, there's a message that I need to tell my daughters. But I got busy. I got in the way. I procrastinated. I dragged my feet for so long. And so coming out of COVID, I should say, on the other side of that, that nudging never left. And I want to pause right there because I believe that there may be somebody listening today who's had a similar nudging. Now, maybe it was not to write a book, maybe it wasn't to start a program, but there is something that God has been calling you to do. It's a whisper, it's maybe you get frustrated about certain things because you are called to be that solution. Who knows? But I know the voice. And I realized that though I was doing great things, it was important for me to get this book pushed out, because this book, if you can think about a pipeline, this book was holding up the flow in the pipeline. He was like, you got to get that clog out of there. You got to get this pushed out. Because it's a foundational piece. Now, I got a chance years ago to write Priceless, a teen girl's guide to uncovering the beauty, boldness, and brilliance within. That's a wonderful book for teens and tweens. And then from that, me and my oldest daughter, Jayden, co-wrote The Priceless Princess. And then I got a chance to rock with you and a phenomenal team of women on If Her Purse Could Talk. And the list goes on. But it didn't dawn on me until a few years ago that this whole concept of crowns and carats, diamonds and crowns and all this stuff goes together. And this particular piece was crucial. So back to your question, what is the purpose of this? Well, once I pushed this book out, God said, okay, that's the first step. That's the first step, okay? But there's more. And so this confidence cast is one of many tools that I'm using in this season, not just to help amplify this message, and we'll get into this message in a moment, but it's also to share the platform and to illuminate the brilliance of other women. When we think about being crowned with confidence, and again, we'll get deep into it. There are a lot of women out here who are representing, who are overcoming, who are blazing trails. And it's not always on big stages. Sometimes it's as the role as a mother raising kids. Sometimes it's at the boardroom. Sometimes it's in the classroom. But I want this space to be a space that encourages people and that shines the light on the brilliance of women who are doing just this, doing just what I say. They're wearing their crown of confidence in a royal and beautiful fashion. So that's the long version of the answer.
I think it's the perfect version of the answer. And I think, we're going to jump right into the book in just a second, but I really want you to talk a little bit more about what your listeners can expect when they tap in. So when they tap in, what kind of things are you going to be talking about that they can look forward to hearing over these here airwaves?
So I think it's going to be a nice blended mix. I think some of the guests and some of the topics that we'll address on this confidence cast will be of a light and airy nature. There's going to be a little laughter. There's going to be a little fun. There's going to be some funny stories and some things that lets us know that we are not alone. But I expect there to be times where there will be stories, maybe some tears, maybe some promptings, some poking, some confirmation. I'm looking for guests, some of the people that I'm bringing, and I'm telling you, I have an incredible lineup of guests that are going to be sharing this platform here. But I'm looking for stories that are heartfelt, that aren't always shiny and pretty. You know what I mean? I'm looking for the truth, the raw, to be told, because, if we're honest, confidence can be complicated, And so whether it is a young adult that's learned some things in her young life, or whether it's a seasoned woman who's on here talking about her journey and the different stages and phases of her walk, her confidence walk. I'm looking for this podcast to be a blended mix of all of that, a place where people can tune in and they can say, "Me too, girl. Oh, yeah, or they can tune in and know again that they're not alone, that they will see themselves in this confident community of like-minded women and young girls." That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that people will tune in and have their cups of confidence filled up. Come in, have their crown of confidence readjusted. When I think about crowns in particular, for some people, their crowns have been tossed around. For some people, their crowns are on the ground, and for others, their crowns are nowhere to be found. But I'm hoping here in this space that they will be reminded. And when they leave, when they tune off, when they click like and subscribe and they go on about their day, that they'll be lighter, that they'll be more encouraged, that they'll be inspired to be and to do the things that God has called them to do. That's my hope.
Y'all didn't know she was a rapper. Y'all hear that?
Listen, don't play. I was a rapper back in the day.
Listen. Don't get her started. She's going to put that crown on now, y'all.
Listen, shouts out to those girls with the Z. My girl, yeah, we had a whole group. Look, don't get me started.
Oh, Ann Arbor, calm down now. Calm down.
Multifaceted.
I love it. Well, now I think it's such a perfect setup that you gave us to really understand your why, what that big why was, who you're talking to, and what you're going to be talking about. So I think it's only suited for us right now to really jump into the significance of the crown and to talk about some specific crowns that you reference in this book. And I also have earmarked my copy, my book. There's a passage in here. That I have, because I've lined and I've got all kinds of highlights in this here book. But there is one that I want to talk to you about and just ask you to expound upon just a little bit about what you meant here. So let's jump into the significance of the crown.
So this book is unlike any other book that I've written. And I struggled. I struggled. That was part of the delay on the book because I'm used to self-help and, all that kind of thing. And this is a parable. I love parables, by the way. I think, there's something about the imagery of a story and characters and all of that. But I never, ever imagined myself being the author of a parable or two. Never. But it needed to be just that. So for those that have not gotten their copy, which I hope they do before all is said and done, the book itself tells the story of 10 daughters of the king, the Most High, if you will. And it paints the picture. It's my belief, it's my heartfelt belief that every single one of us on earth, when we are born, are created with the divine destiny and purpose. And I feel like everything that we need to fulfill that purpose is within. Every gift, every talent, every creative thing. And as we go along our journey, everything that we need shall be provided. But it comes from walking and being crowned with confidence. So I believe that in this story, I talk about the king, and I don't want to give it all away, but him speaking into the life of his daughters, who he loves so much. And he's telling them about who they are. And he's talking to them about not only the riches and the inheritance, but he's talking about the responsibility Because you know what? To whom much is given, much is required. And so, but each one of them, as they grow up, though they're crowned with confidence, a custom crown designed with them in mind, okay, is what each one of them is crowned with as they leave the castle. But they go out into the world, and each one on their own individual journey has something unique that happens to them and that compromises their crown of confidence. And so instead of wearing the crown of confidence, it's exchanged for one of many crowns, right? There are 10, and there's probably more than this 10. But when you think about it, some of the crowns include, a cowardly crown, a case crown, which in that case, is the one that you put on the shelf until the perfect day. And it's so pretty. And I'm just going to look at it and dust it off. And I've got that crown up there. But you never stop to put it on your head. Right? You're waiting for that day. Only when XYZ happens. And we know those things never happen. It's never a perfect time to wear the crown. I'm thinking about the crown of comparison. How many people go through life not paying any attention to the crown that they've been bestowed, that's been bestowed upon their head, because they're so focused on everybody else's crown and pointing out and wishing and not even admiring, because admiration is not, we should admire the beauty around us. But when it turns into jealousy, when it turns into envy, it is destructive. So going through the book, I highlight 10 compromised crowns, really, is what I do, and track it back to how that compromise affected their purpose. Because the same happens, though this is a parable and it's a fairy tale, if you will, it is quite reflective of how things go in our life. How many of us have found ourselves off course, stuck, frustrated, giving up, out of character? You know what I mean? Because we have forgotten the most important principle, which again is who we are and whose we are. For me, I hope that this book and this podcast and the stories that are interweaved within these chapters helps people become loyal to the royal within. That's my heart. That's my heart. We need to be reminded. It's a royal reminder, if you will. It's really at the end of the book. That's what it is. It's a royal reminder of who you are and who I am and who all these listeners out here are.
I love that. I love that. So now that you have opened us up into your world and have brought us into what the Tale of 10 Crowns is about, there was this passage that I had to, yes, let me see if I can read this without my glasses. I'm showing off now. But you say, and this is in the Crown Collection chapter. I'm not trying to give anything away because y'all gonna have to get your own copy. But you say, we must recognize that there are things in life that may cause our crowns to be compromised, leaving us vulnerable, weak, or causing us to live beneath our potential. There are many instances when this can occur, but most often our crowns are compromised and shaped by our mental state, our motivation, or the memories from our past experiences. I love that.
Yeah.
Can you just take 1 minute and talk to us about that? Because that's powerful.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, mindset matters. The way that we think, when we think about, really at the heart of this book, it's all about identity. And there's so much noise out here, so many things vying for our attention, so many distractions. And we're not even, that's the outer stuff, but we're not even beginning to talk about all the inner noise, right? And so when we think about our mentality, when we start thinking about just even being aware self-awareness is important, right?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so it's important, not, and it's not a one-time thing where we just analyze it or we fix it one time. It's every single day. You and I get a chance to do life together, and because you have seen me in my best and in my less than best. Say, but it's a daily journey. It really is. So our mindset matters. Our mental, um, not just mental stability, but mental awareness, just what's going on up here, what's being said up here, because it affects everything. And then when you think about our memories, you know what I mean? Every single one of us has a story. No one has the exact same life journey, though it could be similar. Our memories help to shape us. And if we have found ourselves coming through some hard times, some challenging times with scars, many of us have them. I have my own set, my own set right here. But it can skew us. It can cloud our thoughts, the way that we speak, and so it can totally affect our life, and it goes back to affecting ultimately our destiny, right? How many people can we think of that have gone through life and those experiences have made them cynical, have made them, maybe they used to be people of faith and strong faith. And I'm not just talking about, like, say, Christian faith, but I mean just hopeful people and with dreamers, people that, really believe for big things, but life's circumstances snatched all of that away from them. And so now they're ornery and mean and ugly and nasty. I got
That
a
part.
few people that don't know. Lot. But anyway, so when you think about that particular quote, or that portion of the book, it's really important. Again, I think it just boils down again to that word awareness,
Mhm.
identity and awareness. We need to be clear on who we are, not what the world says, not what social media says, not the number of likes, or not even our titles and positions. That's not a true definition of who we are. Who does he say we are?
Yes.
Need to redefine that. What does he
Mhm.
say
Mhm.
about us? The one
Mhm.
that created us, that custom created us. What does he say about us? And that's what we need to constantly reflect and reset and revisit on a regular basis. And
Yes.
let him heal those broken places in our past, because, I'm not in any way minimizing life's challenges, but
Mhm.
there is one that can heal us, and who can use all of those things, even the most painful things, for his good.
That's right. All the past experiences, memories, mistakes, all of those mishaps that you might have made, yes, they do shape you. They do motivate you as well, because those are some of the things that you'll find where your passion lies, right?
Yes.
That God uses those things for your purpose. That
Mhm.
very painful piece that you walk through, God's going to use it. And so I heard you say, I've got my own set of
Yes, girl.
things. And so I can only imagine that that's what drives you. That's what makes you have the moral fortitude, if you will, to be able to stand in this and say, you know what? Yeah, I'm a subject matter expert, because
Oh,
I
wow,
can tell you that I
girl.
wore some of those crowns, and I can teach from this particular platform.
How
So
about, listen, let's not talk about some. Real talk, I have worn every single one of these 10 crowns at some point or another. Every single one, the crown of control, every single one I have worn. And some I still wear every now and then. You talk about that crooked crown. Girl, whoo, whoo. I can tell you about, just within the last 72 hours, how somebody snatched my crown, and it was crooked and I had to readjust it, because we're human. But the goal is to try and keep that proverbial crown of confidence on. Sometimes you got to be readjusted and you got to be rolling with people who are going to help you keep your crown straight, because a crooked crown is not cute. We have talked about that in a many a session. So you need people who will pull you aside in love and say, girl, let me adjust your crown.
I love
The
it.
crown is crooked. Yes.
Help me.
Mm-hmm.
Look, help me, help me.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Don't let me go on and
Yeah.
look all crazy with my crown cracked and crooked and all on the ground. That ain't cute.
That's not cute. There's something that I share in the book, and it just boils down to this. The condition of our proverbial crown, it affects everything. It affects our attitude. It affects our actions and the things that we do or we don't do. And it affects our associations. It does. It affects our life. If we are not clear on who we are and the power that we possess and our responsibility, it'll seep into every single area of our lives. And so it's important to be mindful of the condition and the position of our proverbial crowns on a daily basis. That means going back to self-awareness, going back to doing that check, going back to making sure you have the right people around and you're doing the work. That is my word for this season. It keeps coming up, doing the work.
Yep.
And that's the hard part.
It is.
And it's a forever work. I don't think anybody arrived. I mean, I'm up here in my 50s and I'm still doing the work. And I expect to be doing the work at different levels until the day I take my last breath.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Because we're supposed to.
That's right.
That's what the word says.
You're right.
Right? That's exactly right. Be doers. Mm-hmm. Listen, I want to be a doer of the word, right? Not just a hearer. So I'm going to be doing all my work, doing all the work. So Dr. Nicole, you have dropped gems here today. You have told us all of the reasons, the why. You have got you snatched our crowns into attention. And told us to sit up and listen. Oh, did you hear that? Oh, yes. Now you're rubbing off on me. So listen, I would love for you to tell your audience a little bit more about just how they can get connected to you. What we heard you say that this was like kind of the cog in the wheel. What else? If somebody is interested in working with you, what other projects, all those things. Tell us more about what is next on the docket for you.
Yeah, well, there is a lot in the works, and I'm making a commitment to myself to, on a side note, Dr. D, you and I have this mindset that, our goal is to die empty. Mm-hmm. And what we mean by that, for anybody who's like, oh, what does that mean? To die empty means to leave it all on the table. And God has put so much in me, not because I'm available. He could put stuff in all the other people, but he has given me such a passion for this work, for helping people in this area of confidence. So the book came first. The podcast is here. Hello, we out here. But there is a lot more. So I'm looking forward to bringing people in to our community. What people may not know who don't know us. Yes, this is just one of many things because, again, we're multifaceted. But you and I have had a chance to put together a space with our Gym Makers 3C Master Model. And it's, for those that don't know what that is, it's 3 major components that make all of the difference. The first is clarity. The second is confidence. And the third is courage. But when those 3 come together and they're operating at full throttle, that's what we call the brilliant zone. And so we've been able for the past several years to create spaces. And one of those spaces is our Beyond Brilliant Network. It's a community of like-minded women in particular. We've got a place for girls, and that's in Diamond in the Rough, the award-winning mentoring and leadership program that's been empowering girls for 20 years. But in Beyond Brilliant, we've been able to create a similar space for women to come naked and unashamed, not physically naked, but emotionally naked. Let me clarify that.
Please do.
But they can come in and take the mask off and come into a space and be encouraged and be pushed and be stretched and find accountability and find encouragement and come together with other brilliant minds in a space where people are not intimidated by one another's brilliance. And so what does that mean for this project? Well, told you one of those C's is confidence. So I'm looking forward through this platform, through this book, through the book tour, through the community that's really honed in on confidence to also bring them into our larger community. So there's some courses coming out. There's coaching services that are going out. You know, as I was preparing for today's show, I was reminded of something that I think Dr. D, if I'm honest, has sometimes take for granted. You know, in our circle, if you will, we are extremely blessed with an incredible group of women. Mm-hmm. I mean, purposeful, powerful, prayer-filled women that we get to do life with. I mean, if it's whether it's in Beyond Brilliant, if it's in Diamond in the Rough, and just in our regular interactions, our sister circle is amazing. But today it dawned on me that it's also very rare that a lot of women, unfortunately, don't have places and spaces where they can find encouragement. True. Where they can find truth and honesty and encouragement and support. And like you said, that little gentle push and nudge on your back to be your best, and cheerleaders on the side and all of the things. Wisdom. How about that? Wisdom. People who you can sit at their feet and you can learn and glean from. What we have is special. And so it's important for me to make sure that I am part of creating those kinds of spaces for sisters who don't have that, for women and for girls who are looking for safe spaces to be, safe spaces to become all of that God has called for them, safe places to clean their proverbial crowns. That is what we look to continue to do, whether it's in small coaching cohorts, whether it's just with a little nugget of encouragement on a post, whether it's in our community. All of it is tied together, because when my crown is on, then I can help you get your crown together, and you can help the next person. We can all do the things that we were called and purposed to do.
That's right.
So there is a lot in the works, a whole lot in the works. And so people, if they, you know, maybe there are women out there who think they'd be a great guest on the show. Maybe you've got an incredible story to tell, an encouraging story, a testimony, if you will. And so we've got ways that you can submit your name, and our team will, you know, take a look and see how we can help to amplify whatever it is that you're doing. For some others, you know, maybe they have ministries or churches or women's groups or spaces where youth gather, and you're looking for a speaker. Maybe you're looking for a workshop presenter. This is just one of several signature series. I mean, we got a lot in the house, from swag to priceless. I mean, got something coming up at the top of the year. Ooh, for those in business. I'm telling you, you don't want to sleep. But whatever we can do to help people get further faster is what I'm passionate about. I know it's what you're passionate about, Dr. D, and all of the women that we get a chance to connect with on a regular basis. So I want this to be used for God's glory. I want it to be used to amplify the voices and the work of other phenomenal women out there. I want it to be an encouragement for young girls who are coming up, because what we have to do daily, and this is for all of the grown out here, is not only do we have to get our crowns right, our proverbial crowns, but we have to prepare our crowns to be passed down. Yeah. Yes. We have to prepare them to be passed down, which means we got to model. We got to model it, right? God's not looking for perfect people, but we have got to model it in a way that our girls and our boys can learn. You know, crowns aren't, crowns, the boys have crowns too. The men
They
have
do. They do. They need
They
to see our crowns shining on just on bling. Yes, they need to be shining. I
Yeah.
love it, Dr. Nicole. You are amazing and onto something. You know, I adore you, sis. And so I think it's only appropriate for you to close out your show by telling the viewers and the listeners, because they are going to see and hear, how they can tune in, what the website, all the things that they can get connected to you, and how you would like to leave them with a little something for them to come on back. So the
Yes.
floor is yours, ma'am.
All right. So if you have not yet subscribed, now's a good time to hit the subscribe button so that you can be made aware of the weekly shows that will drop. They're going to be midweek little inspirations for you. So be sure not only to like and to subscribe, but tell a friend. So from week to week, as you hear messages, share it. Don't keep it to yourself. Please don't keep it to yourself. Invite people to join so that we can work together to get this word out and to encourage and motivate women and girls. The second thing is you can visit the website. So my personal website is therealnicolesteele.com, where you can find all things Nicole Steele, including links to things like Beyond Brilliant and Diamond in the Rough and all of the things that I'm connected to. But you can also find information and purchase this book, as well as any of the items in our confidence collection. We've got wearables, we got drinkables, we got all kinds of things that are centered around confidence on that website. And then if you want to specifically hone in on this book and all things centered around the tale of 10 crowns and in this whole She's Crowned with Confidence movement, you can also visit she'scrownedwithconfidence.com, where you'll find everything centered around this book. So we've got books, we've got a workbook. Again, stay tuned. There's a course and a coaching cohort that's coming up centered around this book, and so much more. So I pray that you not only read it, but let me hear if it blessed you. Let me hear your story. Let me see what parts you highlighted and what pages you dog-eared. Let me, because, yeah, it blesses me. I was reading it. This is funny, Dr. D. Let me just tell you this real quick. After the book was published, of course, did you know, I read a statistic that said for many authors, once they write their book, very few go back and read it.
Mm-hmm.
I found that fascinating. It's like, it's done. Mm-hmm. So when I read that, I said, okay, I need to not let that be my story. I need to go back and read it.
Yeah.
And I was reading this book, and my youngest daughter, my sweet, sweet Victoria, was with me. And I'm reading. I said, oh, girl, this is good. Oh, this is good.
Yes, I have done it. Yes, I have done it. Who wrote that? Who wrote that?
It was ministering to me, jumping all these words, jumping out off the pages. But if you do get a chance, read one. I say, gift one, get one and gift one. How about that? Buy one and gift one, like my girl Michelle did. You know what I mean? But please, 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 again, I thank all of those that have been rocking with me for all of these years that I've been out here, whether it's reading previous books, partnering with me in the Diamond in the Rough space and the Gym Maker space, all of our Beyond Brilliant community, our road dogs, so many. I mean, I can name them, but and I give a special shout out to our sister Monique Kelly, who has been just a constant. Her and Dr. Audra, they got handprints, and Felicia, they handprints in my back, just like pushing a sister out here. But I'm so grateful for everybody. And go out and get your copy. You can also follow. You can follow on all the socials at The Real Nicole Steele. And so, those are just a few of the things that you can do to stay connected. And tune in next time. Thank you, Dr. D. Thank you. I love you.
My pleasure.
Yes. And listen, I'm gonna have you back on in just a short while, and we're gonna switch seats again, and I'm gonna be interviewing you on all the fabulous things going on with you in this season.
I love it. Thanks
again, my dear, and tune in again to She's Crowned with Confidence.
Congratulations!
Thank you. Thank you for tuning in to She's Crowned with Confidence with Dr. Nicole Steele, the Confidence Coach. This Confidence Cast has been brought to you in part by Diamond in the Rough Youth Development Program and Gym Makers LLC. For more information on this podcast, previous episodes, programs, or products, simply visit she'scrownedwithconfidence.com or therealnicolesteele.com. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Nicole Steele. Thank you.